Now it's time to delve into a discussion of the day, and that's how we'll be reviewing the impact of the cryptocurrency world and how it has crashed in recent months on sports, talking about sports sponsorship down to digital collectibles in terms of non-fungible tokens, among others. Let's start from this. No one expected crypto to crash this bad. But how did we find ourselves here? Maybe I should start from that before we delve into its impact in the world of sports.
Of course, crypto is not it's just something that you cannot be sure of how it's going to. No economics that is going to tell you how this is the analysis of how it's going to rise in the next 2 years, in the next 10 years. Nobody knows
because it's not regulated.
It's not regulated. So at any time, you can experience this kind of crash, and at some point, it can go high again. So that's the uncertainty that surrounds crypto, and that's why whatever it is that whoever that is going into it, especially the sport, they know that there is a huge risk that is attached to it regarding the uncertainty, and especially since the government is not regulating it, so anything can actually happen with crypto online. So that's what we're experiencing now in the football world.
Now let's look at crypto currency in sports. Several clubs and sporting franchises have endorsement deals, partnerships, sponsorships, even down to stadium naming rights. How are these sponsorships going to be affected?
It's going to be a tough situation for them because, of course, there's an already made agreement before all of this crash, especially some of the agreement that was signed last year, 2021.
Exactly.
Early last year, 2021. So, and such an agreement, some of them are 4 years, some of them are 5 years, 6. And so it now becomes a legal tussle between the two parties, the crypto company and then the football club. Now, this football club, in a bid for them to cushion the effect of COVID-19 on their finances. And that's why they run out to go for
cryptos,
believing that it will be able to augment, it will be able to cover up a lot of losses they've experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. But now, look at what they are finding themselves in. So the two parties have to just come to the round table and find a way to discuss it. Okay, look at what we're going to do, just the way it happens during COVID, where football clubs were discussing with football players. That, okay, look at what we're going to do. This period is so difficult for us. Let's look at a way to just maybe put a pause, maybe just give a timeline to, okay, in the next 10 months, if it's going to bounce back again, we're going to cover up all what we're supposed to pay, all the expenses we're supposed to pay. But for now, this is the rate at which is now that we can pay you, and then let us know how we can balance up later. So that's the best I think they can handle it.
Looking at, it's not just football clubs. You have basketball, Formula One. Virtually every sport is affected. Even hockey have deals with various cryptocurrencies or platforms and companies. For example, you have Coinbase with NBA. They signed a deal worth $192 million. Again, all of these are more like in the wind at this point in time. For clubs who are in agreement, they've not put pen to paper, but they've agreed in principle. How do they approach from here? I mean, because they've already shored up that inventory before the crash. How do they move from there?
Of course, they have to now keep looking at another way for them to,
like a renegotiation.
First of all, they have to come back to the round table again to discuss, and then for them personally, as the football club, the sport world generally, they have to look at the way again to get what they need to get. Just like the news that you read, where we saw the football club having to sign, Bournemouth having to sign a deal with a betting company. And so this betting company and cryptocurrency world, they are the two kind of big book that is bringing in money, big buck that is bringing money at this time. And so these are the two, and these two of them are uncertain. Because looking at the betting world in the UK are trying to review total review of the betting laws and regulations.
But they can even move to companies in the US. Sorry to button. Companies in the US, betting brands in the US and other parts. If the UK is trying to regulate it, but other companies or other football clubs or sporting entities can, decide to do business with betting brands abroad. But looking at, crypto, be it abroad or home, it's the same world. So, the digital asset of a thing has definitely affected the way sports will be viewed going forward in terms of sponsorship as well as, endorsements. Do not forget that you also have some cryptocurrency companies even signing players up as brand ambassadors. Lionel Messi was signed up with socials.com for about $20 million. That's another massive one You have various club sites like AC Milan right there on the screen with another cryptocurrency. But just before we move from cryptos now and delve into NFTs, what would be the way forward that you suggest? It's not certain that cryptos will bounce back anytime soon. So for how they are now, how do you expect that, you know, football clubs or sports entities as a whole should manage and, you know, approach business dealings with crypto companies?
Of course, when dealing with crypto companies now, football clubs, football brands, all over the sport world, they have to bring in the uncertainty that surrounds crypto, investment in crypto. So they have to be, I think their legal department will be able to handle that. They have to know that, okay, this is uncertainty, what if it goes this way? It's the both party. Because if the value of crypto increases, it will favor the football club. If it goes down, it will be against the company, the crypto company. So they have to look at the way to manage the situation of the uncertainty there, and then look at it, okay, if this happens, this is what the clauses that will be attached to it. It is what is important. And very importantly, the way and manner the club now manages the tokens they use to generate all of these funds is what matters now. Because when you sell tokens for, when you give, maybe a fan has about maybe 20 tokens that has a value or particular value for a particular month, and then before the beginning of the season, and just 2 months from now, and then the value depreciates, it will be a harsh effect on all of these football fans. And so the football club now knows a way how to now say, this is how it is, this is what you are going to get access to, this is the offer, this is the bonus you get. If you have experienced this kind of downtime in your own crypto firms, then you can get more tokens and then get freebies on their website. On their website. That,
Okay, still talking about, you know, the whole cryptocurrency world, let's zone in now on NFTs. For NFTs, you know, they're non-fungible tokens, and these are things that fans tend to, you know, adopt and get as their own investments, either from players and what have you. We've seen various sports entities also invest in NFTs, especially Liverpool Football Club really now their NFTs not quite long, about a few months ago. But let's look at, you know, for clubs who have, you know, unveiled their NFTs and fans have invested and all of that, how does this whole crash also affect digital collectibles?
Of course, the prices obviously will drop. So, for instance, if you have you have an NFT that you put on maybe a Arsenal Football Club website and you want to sell, and then you put a price about a few months ago that this particular NFT will be $20. Let's, for instance, $20, and then now after 4 months, then it depreciates to about $2, and you begin to wonder that. And maybe somebody would have negotiated this kind of deal with you and said, okay, I want to pay you $19. So now the fans knows exactly what is happening in the crypto world now. And that's why the cryptocurrency companies are looking for a way to buy in more people, because the more the number of the acceptability of this cryptocurrency, the better it will be able to sustain in the market. So the more they get more people. Now, how can they get more people? Is through all of this partnership they go about doing, so that people will begin to put in money, invest into it, and they will be able to, you know, it's something that is just not very uncertain. So it now depends on how they manage within the crypto company, and then the football company, and the entire sport world.
This, I beg your pardon, is The Arena, and I'm Samson Oloyede. Welcome to the show once again. Let's keep you abreast of the latest happenings in the world of sports, starting with the business side of things. Matchroom Sports is in negotiations with several private equity firms regarding the sale of a minority stake in the event promotions company. The group of private equity firms in talks for the 25% stake in Matchroom up for grabs includes Luxembourg-based CVC Capital Partners and New York's KKR and Searchlight Capital. The 25% stake could fetch an asking price of roughly $215 million. A sale could value Matchroom at between $739 million and $862 million. No details have been finalized, but a bidder is expected to be chosen in the coming weeks. Launched in 1982, Matchroom has gained notoriety through boxing. Last year, it agreed to a 5-year deal worth over $100 million with sports streaming service DAZN to broadcast its matches based in the UK and Ireland. The deal came after Matchroom announced an 8-year, $1 billion joint venture with Perform Group, now DZN Group Limited, in 2018. Still talking sports business, now let's delve into the clothing and apparel aspect of sports. Nike reported $12.2 billion in fourth quarter revenue and $46.7 billion in full-year revenue, a 6% increase year over year. The swoosh beat analysts' quarterly estimates of $12.06 billion, but fell 1% from the same period last year. Nike reported net income of $1.4 billion as well. Now, Nike direct revenue increased 7% to $4.8 billion during the quarter, and Nike Brand Digital saw its revenue jump 15%, while Nike-owned stores fell 2%. Converse, a subsidiary of Nike, reported $593 million in revenue, down 1% year over year. Revenue for the Nike brand was $44.4 billion for the fiscal year, while Nike ended the quarter with inventories of $8.4 billion, a 23% increase year over year, and returned roughly $1.5 billion to shareholders during the 3 months ending May 31st. For the full year, Nike returned around $5.8 billion to shareholders. Now in football, English football club Bournemouth have announced gambling brand Dapperbet as their new main shirt sponsor for the 2022-2023 Premier League season. Dapperbet has signed a deal for the next 2 seasons, replacing MSP Capital as the Cherries front of shirt sponsor. The local financial services firm will, however, remain a partner of the club, instead taking on the team's training kit sponsor slot. The betting brand is also currently the main sponsor of Scottish football giant Celtics and has previously had deals with Premier League clubs like Aston Villa as well as Everton. Finally, when it comes to keeping you abreast of the latest sports business news, World Rugby and Canon have announced a new partnership that designates the photography specialist as worldwide partner of the 2021 Women's Rugby World Cup in New Zealand and the official imaging supplier of the 2023 men's tournament in France. Via the agreement, Canon will provide its suite of products and solutions to the Global Rugby Union body. This includes supplying cameras, lenses, video camcorders, network cameras, and medical equipment for the 2 tournaments. Canon will also offer behind-the-scenes support to members of the media covering the next 2 World Cups, including camera maintenance services and product loans. The agreement with the women's competition marks Canon's first specific deal for the women's game. Canon previously served as a sponsor for the last 2 men's World Cups in 2015 and 2019, and now becomes the 4th Japanese brand to partner with the 2023 edition of the tournament.